Named for the Colorado State University's 8th president, the William E. Morgan Alumni Achievement Award is the highest honor bestowed by the Alumni Association and is reserved for alumni who have excelled at the national or international level. President Morgan presided over Colorado A&M's transformation into a modern research university and fought tirelessly for the growth and welfare of this institution throughout the decades he served in the president's chair. Tonight, we present the William E. Morgan Alumni Achievement Award to Yusef Komunyakaa in recognition of his extraordinary achievements as a poet, nonfiction writer, and educator.
Yusef, what inspires you?
What inspires me? A number of things. Life, just growing up in the environment I did, all this stuff. And a certain kind of dreaming began to take place, where I was bringing things together and how those things play off of each other. And before you know it, or before one knows it, there's a whole inspired connection.
I think that the year that Yusef won the Pulitzer was my first year of graduate school. So it's almost as I entered into the poetry world, having never studied really poetry before as an undergrad, he was my ground floor. And in fact, my very first year of undergrad, the first kind of living Black male poet I heard of was Yusef. Winning the Pulitzer for Yusef certainly brought him into the limelight. He's the first, African-American man to win it at that point. And so for anybody watching, as I said, even for myself, it was a possibility maybe that we hadn't thought about. But I guess I would still say though, the prizes just have never seemed that significant. People carry those honors differently. I know a lot of people have won the major prizes, and Yusef was never someone who, I could say it this way, this is good, it's like sports. It's glory, it's not fame. So what he's working for, I think, is for the glory that comes with peers and people that read him carefully to be like, you the man. But the fame part of it, which is like a Pulitzer Prize or a Nobel Prize or whatever else that looks like, I just have never gotten the sense that he cared about that. I really haven't.
We have to be willing to discover. We have to be able to laugh and say, where did I come from? Remember, the language is rhythm. Don't be afraid to dance.
At the end of the week of studying with him, he would typically take everyone and do kind of a close reading over their poem. And for me, I now understand it was a compliment. We didn't do that. We went and visited a friend of his who had a great jazz collection and was an artist, and we sat and listened to music. And most of the night, I was like, when are we gonna talk about my poems? I think I had them in my back pocket. But I realized it was a way of him sort of expressing to me, I think, our relationship was gonna be different than just talking about poems. And I think that turned out to be true. The nature of influence isn't always, nose to nose or eye to eye. Sometimes it's just about like being in a room with someone. And really that is his influence, I think. Just his presence, as I said.
Maybe it had something to do with me, but I don't think it does. I think a lot of kids are inspired to see into things, not necessarily let their eyes just glide over it like a glance, but to see into things, because we keep coming back to those images. We keep coming back to those certain moments in our personal history or what have you, trying to make some sense out of it. Fortress. Now, I began with these two hands held before me as blessing and weapon, blackbirds and fierce flight and instruments of touch and consolation. This sign means stop. And this sign, of course, means come forth, friend. I draw a circle in the red iron clay around my feet, where no evil spirit dares to find me. One's hands held at this ankle over a boy's head or a roof over a sanctuary. I am a greenhorn in my fortress in the woods, with my right eye pressed to a knot hole. I can see a buzz in the persimmon tree, its ripe letting go, a tiny white cross in each seed. The girl's fiery jump rope strikes the ground. I see the back door of that house close to the slow creek, where a drunken, angry man stumbles across the threshold every Friday. I see forgiveness, unbearable twilight, and these two big hands know too much about nail and hammer, plank and uneasy sky, hewn stone and mortar is another world. And sometimes a tall gate comes first, then huge wooden barrels of grain, flour, salted meat, and quick line before 28 crossbows and 4 towers.